Okay, I think we are live. Hello, world. In this week's episode, I'm going to review Jurassic Park Rebirth. Sorry, Jurassic World Rebirth. It's going to be my spoiler-free review. But before we get to the main event, I'm going to talk about the weekend box office and a couple birthdays happened in July that I want to talk about. So, let's get started, shall we? Live from Niagara Falls, it's Mr. FLIXTER Show on Saturday night. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video. Hello, world. I'm Chris Maitini, aka Mr. FLIXTER. Mr. FLIXTER. So, before I get to the main event, like I said, there's a couple birthdays I want to talk about. So let's start with that. Make sure I'm sharing the screen. Here we go. So, in case you didn't know, Tom Hanks had a birthday on July 9th. So let's see. And here we go. He was born on July 9th, 1956. So if we go to his body of work, here we go, just actor. Previous, here we go. I just want to check something. Hold on. Can I fix that so I'm in the corner? This one. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there. So let's try that again. Just going to share the screen. Here we go. I want to be in the corner. There we go. Sorry about that. So like I was saying, it's Tom Hanks' birthday on July 9th. So let's see, sharing the screen. Good, let's go. Oh, hold on. Get rid of this. Okay. And the problem with live TV, technical difficulties will happen. So here's some of his body of work. I didn't know he was in the Phoenician Scheme. His latest one is here. I know he stars in that one. He's like the main role. He's been on The Simpsons a few times. I heard Asteroid City was good. A Man Called Otto, I was not a fan of that one. It's labeled as a comedy, but that is not a comedy. I didn't think Pinocchio was very good, and I didn't think he was very good in it. I didn't see the Elvis movie, but I heard he's good. As you can see, he's got a long body of work. Toy Story 4, of course, he plays Woody in those movies. Hard to believe that came out in 2019. Wow. Oh. Yeah, that's right. Inferno. He was Robert Langdon in those movies. Birds of Spies. 2015, that's a good one. Saving Mrs. Banks is cute. It's the story of how Mary Poppins became a movie. Captain Phillips, I heard was good. I hadn't seen that one, though. So many credits. Angel and Demons and Da Vinci Code. Well, Polar Express, I'm not really a fan of, but I know it's popular. I do like The Terminal. That's a really good one. That might be a forgotten one. Catch Me If You Can is awesome, too. Highly recommend that one. Road to Perdition is pretty good. I wasn't a fan of Castaway, though, but I love Green Mile. And, of course, there's You've Got Mail. And Saving Private Ryan. Apollo 13, that's right, 95. Philadelphia is really good, too. And, of course, Sleepless in Seattle, 1993. Gotta mention that one. Radio Fly is an underrated one, too. That came out in 92. Then if you want absolute silliness, Joe versus the Volcano. Same with Turner and Hooch. Silly fun movies. And then there's The Burbs. That one's kind of cool. It's different. Big. That's a classic. Drag. That one's really good, too. Oh, yeah. I forgot that he was in Splash. 84. So it looks like his first acting job was He Knows You're Alone in 1980. Awesome. I just want to make sure I'm still alive. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Cool. And the other birthday I wanted to talk about, happy birthday, Tom Hanks. Let's just go back to the top. It is Corey Feldman. If I spelled it right. Yeah, here we go. He was born on July 16th, 1971. So let's just look at some of his acting credits. So more recently, he was in an episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. His more recent movie looks like Going Viral, which came out last year. That's cool. Let's just go down a bit. Some of these I've never heard of before. Of course, he makes the odd cameo in music videos. A lot of actors do that. Oh, he was in the Ninja Turtle show from 2013 to 2017 for 12 episodes. That's cool. I didn't know that. He was in some Minecraft shows, it looks like. Yeah, some of these I've never heard of before. Looks like mostly cameos on TV. Oh, Dickie Roberts, Firma Child Star. I have seen that one. That one's pretty funny. That's from 2003. We'll be getting to the good stuff soon. Obviously, more known for his older stuff. Oh, I didn't know he was in Bordello of Blood, 96. That's awesome. That's a good movie. I forgot he was in that one. Oh, I know. Oh, she's behind me. Okay. Let's go down a bit more. Let me just check. Okay, still with you? Good. Oh, he was in Maverick in 94 as a bank robber. That's a good movie. Oh, I know. Oh, he's the voice of Donatello in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 in 93. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Loaded Weapon 1 is a good movie. Obviously, it's spoofing the Lethal Weapon movies, 93. Well, he was Donatello in the original, too. Whoa, that's awesome. Oh, he was also in The Birds. And, of course, Lost Boys, 87. And then, of course, there's Stand By Me, 86. And The Goonies was 85. And Friday the 13th, A New Beginning was also 85. And Gremlins, don't forget he was in that, 84. Let's see what his first thing was. Oh, too far. Okay, so his first TV show was America Tonight for 3 episodes in 1978. And his first movie was Born Again in 1978. Same year. Wow. So yeah, there's a little bit about Corey Feldman. Happy birthday, Corey Feldman. Where's his picture? There he is. And back to me. Okay. I have a little visitor. Nala's paying me a visit. So, anyways, now let's talk about the weekend box office last week, shall we? I didn't have an episode last week because I had a family event. Oh, hold on. Let's share this to the stage. Yeah, but I want to be here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had a family event last week, so I couldn't do an episode. So let's check it out. What happened last week, shall we? And that would have been July 3rd. Oh, sorry, 11th to the 13th. We're in the middle of summer movie season now, so there's a lot of big releases out there. Okay, so here's the weekend box office for last week. I just want to make sure I'm still connected. I'm going to be paired right now for the whole stream. Here we go. Perfect. Cool. Good, good. All right, let's go back. Okay, so number 1 was Superman. its opening weekend at $125 million. And it's in over 4,000 theaters. Wow. So it's off to a really good start. I'm looking forward to this one. It's another one I'm really anticipating. And then second place was Jurassic World Rebirth. It dropped one spot from last week, but I'm not surprised Superman beat it. It made $40.3 million, which is a kind of a significant drop. It's almost 50%, but it's still in over 4,000 theaters, so that's good. And it's doing really well so far. For its second week, it's already got $232.4 million. Not too shabby. And then number 3 is F1. This one looks really good too. It's all about Formula One racing. It's got Brad Pitt. Last week it was at number 2. This week it made $13 million. There's a big gap between these two movies. Wow. And this one dropped about 50% too, but it's still in 3,000 theaters, over 3,000. And it's got $136.2 million. It's been out for 3 weeks now. At number 4 is the How to Train Your Dragon remake. And you can see all these drop down one spot. It's kind of funny. Oh, because Superman. Excuse me. So How to Train Your Dragon made another $7.9 million, and it's still in over 3,000 theaters. It's been out for 5 weeks now, and it's made $239.9 million, almost as much as Jurassic Park has made in 2 weeks. So that just shows you, I think this is going to do very well. This one's not doing bad either. I'm kind of surprised that one's doing so well, but I hear good things. It's just not for me. At number 5, we have Elio. That's a new Pixar movie. It's dropped a spot, but it's hanging on there, still in the top 5. I hear this movie's very underrated. I heard it's pretty good, actually. It got $4 million this week. It dropped 30%. It's still in 2,000, almost 3,000 theaters. And it made another $63.8 million. It's been out for 4 weeks. After that is 28 Years Later, at number 6. This is one I'm looking forward to, too. It made another $2.7 million. It's still in 2,000 theaters. It didn't drop that much. And it made $65.7 million so far. It's been out for 4 weeks, too. So that's still doing, well, I think it's the best in the franchise so far. And number 7 is Lilo and Stitch, still hanging on to the top 10. We got $2.7 million, still in over 2,000 theaters. It's made $414.5 million. Holy crap. It's 8 weeks in, too. Well, out. It's been out for 8 weeks. And this one might even make $1 billion. It's almost halfway there. And number 8 is Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. Still haven't seen this one. You gotta get out and see that one. It made $1.4 million this week. It dropped almost 50%, but it's still in over 1,000 theaters. And it's made $194 million so far in 8 weeks. So it's doing pretty good. And number 9 is Megan 2.0. I had forgotten this one came out, actually. Oops. But it's doing pretty good. It's got 1.4 million. But it dropped 64%. Whoa, holy crap. Still in over 1,000, almost 2,000 theaters. Well, it lost a lot of theaters, though. Wow. It lost almost half its theaters. That's weird. It's only been up for 3 weeks. But it's made $22.4 million so far. And number 10 is The Materialist. That's like the new rom-com, I guess. Which made almost $1 million, $720,000 and change. It dropped almost 50%. Wow. It's only in 589 theaters. Not very many. $35.1 million. It's been out for 5 weeks. So it might be running out of time to see that one if you wanted to go see it. And then some of the other big summer releases. Finishing Schemes hanging in there. Ballerina. I did see this one. I got a review for this one on my channel if you're interested. Final Destination Bloodlines. That one's awesome. That's doing the best in the franchise too so far. It's been out for 9 weeks. It's only in 119 theaters, so you're running out of time to see it. All right, so let's look at the international box office, shall we? Just want to make sure I'm still streaming. Cool. Oh, we got a comment. Sabrina says, License to Drive looks good too. I agree. That one looks pretty good. Certainly looking forward to that one. All right, let's go back to the box office. Wait, worldwide. All right, so, excuse me. Neja 2 is still dominating the box office. It's got almost $2 billion. That's insane. Lilo and Stitch is in second place. Oh, looks like it already did it. It crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide. Well, there you go. And then Minecraft didn't quite make $1 billion. I'm not even sure if that one's still in theaters because I know it's streaming now, like on Crave in Canada. And in fourth place is Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. It's got about $500 million, a little bit more. Fifth place is How to Train Your Dragon. Same deal, $500 million, just about. Jurassic Park Rebirth is already in sixth place. Sorry, Rebirth. It's already in sixth place. Wow. $559.5 million. It's already got $500 million for being out 2 weeks. And then F1 isn't that far behind, $434 million. Captain America: Brave New World has $415 million. And then Thunderbolts is right after with $382 million, which is kind of a shame because I thought that it was a better movie than Brave New World, but I guess not as many people went to go see it. And hanging on at number 10 is Sinners. $365.8 million so far worldwide. Wow. And Superman is already on the list at number 11 after 1 week. That's amazing. And we got Final Destination Bloodlines hanging in there. And Snow White, wow. Dogman's 14. 20 years later, it's 15. There we go. Wow. Awesome. Good for those films. Okay. And get rid of this. Okay. So let's get to the main event, shall we? My spoiler-free review of Jurassic World Rebirth. Aha, I got the title right that time. So let's just pull up IMDb so I can show you the poster. And here. World Rebirth. Here we go. Here we go. First, I want to talk about this poster because I hate this poster. It's dumb. They made Scarlett Johansson bigger than the dinosaur. They've never done that in a Jurassic World poster before. So it's like, WTF? And I'm sorry, as much as I'm a fan of Scarlett Johansson, she wasn't the main reason why I saw the movie. I'm sure most people didn't go see it for Scarlett Johansson. No offense, Scarlett Johansson. So let's get to the good poster. I don't know. It's like, why would you do that? Obviously, people go for the dinosaurs. And the way they did it too, like over the mountains and stuff, like she's looking down on it. It's just silly. Here we go, too far. Let's go here. Here. Go away. I'm not sponsored. Poster. Go away. I'm not sponsored. Here we go. They got a few good ones. Showing up different dinosaurs. They got international posters too. This is a cool one. Spinosaurus. And then not sponsored. Okay. That's a cool one. Where's the Mosasaurus? What is that here? Spinosaurus again. No. Oh, there it is. This one's really cool. The Mosasaurus one. I love this poster. That's awesome. And then this is the poster here. So, Jurassic World Rebirth was directed by Gareth Edwards, and it was written by David Koepp, based on the ideas of Michael Crichton, who wrote the Jurassic Park novels. There's two of them. It stars Scarlett Johansson, aka ScarJo, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey, who played Fiyero in the more recent Wicked movie. And I already mentioned the budget and the box office. Well, the budget was $180 million. But yeah, I mentioned the box office was over $300 million so far. So does this movie hold up compared to the other Jurassic World movies / Jurassic Park movies? Well, first I'll read the synopsis according to IMDb. Let's just go back. Oh no, it just closes. There we go. Okay, here's the synopsis. 5 years post-Jurassic World Dominion, an expedition braved isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. So here's a little bit of the preview. I'll get to this scene here. And I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I'll be careful. Don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything. So, Gareth Edwards knows how to stage enormous scale shots. The movie feels very cinematic in scope, and you can kind of see that here in some of these scenes. That's one of the best scenes right there, the T-Rex in the river. There's also a scene that's impressive that shows them rappelling down a cliff. But the way they shot it, it has the camera from like their perspective, like just over them, looking downward over the cliff. So you can see how far it is and how wide this canyon is. There it is right there. There's the shot. That's cool, right as I said it. It was brief, but it showed it for like 2 seconds. It's longer in the movie. It's really cool. I love that shot. They have this great shot that shows a sense of wonder, too, that a lot of these movies are known for. The way it shows the Titanosaurus and the herd in the tall grass. Maybe it'll show it here in the previews. I was curious, why are all those sense of wonder moments always with the sauropods? Have you noticed that before? It's always the Brachiosaurus, or in the last one it was the Dreadnoughtosaurus. It's just funny. It's always the long-necked dinosaurs they do the sense of wonder shots with. There are other dinosaurs, but the CGI in this is fantastic. You can kind of see it in some of these shots here. Can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can. I don't know. Every week I think I ask that. Anyways, I love that shot there with the Mosasaurus. It's very reminiscent of Jaws. There's a lot of good callbacks there. But anyways, screenwriter David Koepp returns after writing the first 2 Jurassic Park movies. He's also known for writing Spider-Man from 2002. In a video with E! News, the video was called Jurassic World Rebirth. David Koepp reveals movie secrets. And in there, he said he wanted to revisit the concept of humans in a dinosaur environment, whereas the 2 preceding films had shifted toward animals living among people in the world. And then Koepp says later on, and I quote, "I don't know where else to go with that," end quote, because he, quote, felt this idea had been thoroughly explored, end quote. So he thinks there's not much more you could do with that. He thought the idea was thoroughly explored. But my problem with that is that this is the second movie that we didn't need to make up an excuse to go to an island full of dinosaurs. And both times they make up excuses to go to islands full of dinosaurs. Hold on, let's get rid of that. Here we go. And then go back. I just want to check 1 second. Am I with you still? Good, good, awesome. The show must go on. Here we go. Let's just let it try there again. There we go. But yeah, they didn't have to make an excuse to go to Islands Full of Dinosaurs for 2 movies now, and they still did it. Why? There's so much more they could do with dinosaurs coexisting with people on the mainland. In those other 2 movies, they barely did anything with it, with Dominion and Fallen Kingdom. Like, it's very frustrating. Surely, the writer can find a way. Koepp also said in the same video that quote, "I was more limited. I find limitations freeing," end quote. And this explains a lot about the script, because while there is scientific evidence to support medical benefits from dinosaurs, this feels unnecessary for the narrative because it's so straightforward. It only takes about 15 minutes to get to the island, but there's little context given to who's involved and why. And then once you're there, it kind of feels derivative of the other 4 movies because we're back to square one again. Dinosaurs on an island in their natural habitat. The same idea that we keep exploring. But there's no more ideas. There's nothing else we could do on the mainland. Like, it's so frustrating. Anyways, the question remains though, why limit yourself to this one idea at all? There's literally a world of possibilities, and we just keep reverting to a single location again and again and again. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But if you put the paper thin plot aside, we do have some great dinosaur moments, and you can see some of them here in the clips. Not that one. I don't like that one. That's the Mutodon. It's like a mix between a pteranodon and a velociraptor. That's what gets me too. This movie doesn't have velociraptors. Well, it has like 2 of them, but they get killed off very quickly by these stupid Mutodon things. Then it becomes all about that. And, another frustrating choice they make. But anyways. So some of the best parts are the Mosasaurus here. We're working with the Spinosaurus. It's very reminiscent of Jaws, the way that he shot it. And then, again, I mentioned the cliffside scene. That's really good. That's when they're looking for the Quetzalcoatlus, which is basically a giant pteranodon. And then the Titanosaurus in the valley is really good. Oh, let's get rid of that. That's not the right movie. Uh-oh. Didn't mean to do that. Stop. Quick. Oh, no. Okay. Let's just go back to the poster. Actually, I'll cycle through some of these pictures, too. Let's just scroll down a bit. There's the valley there. There's the Quetzalcoatlus eggs. There's the T-Rex river scene. That one's really good. There's the Spinosaurus in the water. And then you can see the Mosasaurus here. That's cool. So I make sure I'm still streaming. Still streaming. Awesome. And back. There's the Spinosaurus. That's one of the problems too. If you've seen the preview, you've pretty much seen all the good parts. There's the repelling scene from a different angle. Okay, it's just around again. All right, that's promo stuff. No sponsor, go away. All right, cool. So yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes. Mosasaurus with the Spinosaurus, the Quetzalcoatlus. I have such a hard time saying that. Titanosaurus and the T-Rex. The dinosaurs are from land, sea, and air. We have an aquatic reptile, we have a sauropod, and we have a pterosaur. And these are all dinosaurs that we've seen before. And while I'm happy to see the T-Rex and the Mosasaurus again, because I don't think they were used enough in the last few films, do we keep having to showing the same types of dinosaurs over and over again? I mean, there's so many other dinosaurs they could use. And fun fact, that scene here with the river is from the original novel. And they were going to do it in the first film, but they couldn't because of budgetary reasons. And they even storyboarded out the whole scene, but they just couldn't shoot it. So it's nice to finally see it come to fruition here. There's the Titanosaurus. The ones I was trying to show. Perfect. Cool. There's that shot again. All right. A couple things I was disappointed about. I was disappointed with the D-Rex, which is short for Distortus Rex, because they're real clever with their names. I call it the Dumbassosaurus because I hate this thing. It's teased early on in the beginning, but it's not used or seen very much at all until like the very end. So you don't really spend a lot of time with it. When you do see it, you can barely see it too because it's in the dark the whole time. Like those scenes there are basically as much as you can see it. So it's very hard to see what it actually looks like. I had to look it up online to see what it really looked like. And I don't like the character design. It looks kind of like a Rancor made with the Xenomorph. and then that offspring latched onto the face of a T-Rex when it was a face hugger. It looks so bizarre. Or like, it looks like you inflated the T-Rex, kind of. It's funny looking. I'm not a fan of the T-Rex. I never really felt a connection with the cast either, because you don't really know anything about them outside of the mission. There's a few throwaway lines about their past, but if you're not paying attention to the movie, then you might miss it. Let's go back to the posters. Let's stick with the still frames. So as you can see, there's a lot of cool shots in this. And some of the scenes, they are really exciting. I was on the edge of my seat for most of it. I just didn't think the cast had very much chemistry. All right, there's the poster I like. Cool. You have the rich corporate guy. You have the poor paleontologist guy. You have mercenaries with hearts of gold. And you have a family, simply because this is a family movie. In their defense, though, the family does have their own distinct personalities, though. And I did find the family more compelling than the Black Ops crew, although I never did come around to the boyfriend. I thought that character was kind of annoying. Okay, really annoying. Xavier, I think his name was. But they were still more interesting people than the Spec Ops crew, the original cast that we meet. I think the family could have been the whole movie, and that would have been fine. Mahershala Ali and ScarJo do have some chummy scenes, but they feel like they're from a different movie because they're kind of out of place. But aside from that, they don't really have a whole lot of personality. So some of the dinosaurs that they show in this movie that I haven't mentioned yet are the Aqualops, which is kind of like a little Triceratops-like dinosaur. They end up having, they hold on to one. They call her Dolores. She's adorable. Maybe I can find a picture. There's the Megalodon there, the one I was telling you about. The pterodactyl raptor. ScarJo, lots of ScarJo. Did you know ScarJo's in this? It's Bailey again. This is behind the scenes and premiere stuff. Stupid poster. Okay, I'll just stick with that one. They also have Dilophosaurus briefly. They got Ankylosaurus. They got the copies, which I love. Maybe I can find a picture of Dolores because she's adorable. Dolores. Oops. Oops. Jurassic World. Rebirth. She's like one of the highlights of the movie. There we go. If it loads. Here we go. View image. There we go. That's Dolores. Kind of like a Triceratops, but a little different. Again, that's called the Aquilops. Aquilops. Okay, back to the poster. There we go. So overall, this is my most anticipated movie this year, but I couldn't help but feel disappointed. They shouldn't have called this Rebirth. They should have called this Jurassic World Recycled. Because it's the same stuff again and again and again that we keep seeing before. I can't help but compare this film to Alien Romulus, because that film took several elements from the franchise, but utilized them in new imaginative ways. They even created the new stage for the growth of the xenomorph, the cocoon phase. This one just uses the same stuff again. And I'm sorry, but I never bought the idea that people in this world ever got tired of seeing dinosaurs in person. Because zoos are still popular. You go to the zoo any day of the week, and people are trying to see the exotic animals, even like the penguins and the little cute ones. Like, I get excited when I see otters at the zoo, so I don't buy that concept. And whaling, not whaling, whale watching. Sorry, different thing, totally different thing. Whale watching is very popular. A lot of people love it, and it's hard to get whale watching trips sometimes. So no, I don't buy that idea. Why would people ever get tired of seeing dinosaurs in person? I don't think I would. This movie doesn't really seem like it knows how to use the dinosaurs. Nor do they know how to get people onto the island. Despite being established in previous films, the dinosaurs are on the mainland, so they don't even need to go to an island. Cap even admitted that he's out of ideas. I have no interest in mutants or hybrid dinosaurs either. This started in Jurassic World, but I'll get to that when I do my ranking. The magic from the original film was using DNA to bring dinosaurs to life that existed before, because that would be an amazing thing. And there's a lot of awe and wonder behind that. And there's also the fear, because these could also be terrifying monsters too. That's the beauty of it. No pun intended. Much like the Fast and the Furious franchise, this franchise has lost its way, exploring all these different tangent plot lines that are irrelevant to the original concept. It's got some great cinematic moments that are truly exciting, but the characters are generic, and the so-called plot is dumb. There's a lot of plot holes. It does that thing that movies do that's a constant pet peeve of mine, where it just ends abruptly. There's no real resolution to the conflict going on. It just kind of stops. So I hate that. Lost points for that too. So it's not great, but it's not terrible either. It's kind of mid for me. So if you like dinosaur movies, aside from the other Jurassic Park movies, I recommend the original Land Before Time. Hold on. Let's get those posters up. Land Before Time is from 1988. I love this movie. This is a classic. My computer's just being slow. There we go. Great poster, great film. Land Before Time, 1988. Highly recommended. Just want to make sure it was still streaming. Still streaming. Awesome. Another one that I recommend is We're Back, a dinosaur story. I'm not sure what happened there. That's from 1993. Another amazing animated dinosaur film. And then I also recommend King Kong, the Peter Jackson one from 2005. Believe it or not, it's got some great dinosaur moments. It's got scenes with T-Rex and Titanosaurus and a bunch of other dinosaurs too on Skull Island. Great film. And I also recommend Godzilla Minus One from 2003. There it is. Oh, not sponsored. Go away. It's a highly underrated film that not many people saw when it came out because it got a very limited release, but I highly recommend this one. This made Godzilla scary again. And then, of course, I also recommend Godzilla from 2014. Right here. Gareth Edwards directed this one too. And it's a lot better than some of the other American Godzilla movies. So I highly recommend this one too. Okay, let's go back. Oh, let's get rid of some of these. Okay, StreamYard, still streaming? Cool. Let's get rid of this for now. Okay. So, my official grade for Jurassic World Rebirth is medium popcorn. Sabrina says, the highlight of this movie for me was Dolores. She was so sweet and adorable. She was. I agree. And remember, I have many theories, but I can't explain the chaos that has become this franchise. So now let's get to my ranking, shall we? So on Letterboxd, I set up my list. Oh, I got rid of that window accidentally. Okay, hold on. Share the screen. Put me in the corner. Yeah, cool. Let's just pull this up. Letterboxd. So just like before, I put together the list in the order of the release date. And let's. And edit list. If it'll let me. Edit list. There we go. I'm also including the short film. Oh, it's not here. Okay, I'll have to add this one too. It's called Battle at Big Rock. Sorry, Battle at Camp Big Rock. No, not Camp Big Rock. Battle at Big Rock. My apologies. Okay, that's being very slow. But yeah, it was released in 2021, I believe, just before Jurassic World Dominion came out. So I'm going to put that on the list too, if it'll let me. 1 second. Sorry, 2019. Okay. Let's refresh this. There we go. There it is. Now it's on the list. Cool. Yeah, there's 8 movies in total. So let's start at the bottom. Just want to make sure I'm still streaming. I'm paranoid. Cool. All right. So here. So at number 8, I'm going to go Fallen Kingdom. Because this has to be the most depressing Jurassic Park movie ever made. Like, this one's hard to watch. It's hard to sit through. Although I would argue that this one has the best intro in the franchise. So let's go to the poster. World. Fallen. Oh my god, I can't type. Fallen Kingdom. There it is. This came out in 2018. There we go. I got my lovely notes here. Done by my girlfriend Sabrina. So thank you very much for that. She's very helpful when it comes to the channel. So here we go. This one was directed by J.A. Boyano. It was written by Derek Connolly, Colin Trevorrow, sorry if I butchered that, and based on the ideas, of course, by Michael Crichton. It stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Rafi Spall. This one was made on a budget of $170 million, and it earned $1.3 billion at the box office. Holy crap. This wasn't the first time a movie made $1 billion in the franchise, so no wonder they keep cranking out the sequels. But yeah, this is the only one that I would consider to be a bad film, because I hadn't really seen it since I got it. Well, I've only seen it twice before I did my rewatch. And the reason for that is because I dreaded having to sit through this one again. Like, I saw it once in theaters, and then I saw it when it came out on Blu-ray. And then it just kind of sat there on the shelf, and I never really revisited it. Mainly because of that. So yeah, like I was saying, this has one of the best intros in the whole franchise. Mainly because of the use of light and shadow. It leans really heavily on the horror genre. And it's really cool the way they stage some of the lightning that strikes. You can see the dinosaurs for like 3 seconds here and there. And the Mosasaurus reminds us why that she's on top of the food chain. So it's got Claire returns. Claire obviously is played by Bryce Dallas Howard. But this time her character is the total opposite of before. She's more of an animal activist now, when before she saw the animals as assets. She didn't really see them as animals. And there's a new character named Zia. I like her. She's fun. She's one of those smart, no nonsense kind of girls. And she generally genuinely cares about the dinosaur's well-being too, so that's nice. This one also introduces the Lockwood character, which is supposed to be an old friend of Hammond. But if he's so important to the franchise, why is he never mentioned before this movie? It also introduces the villain, Eli. He's not a very good actor in this. Like, he's very cartoonish and over the top and very silly villain. His motivations don't really make sense either, but oh well. I don't really think Bryce Dallas Howard or Chris Pratt have very much chemistry either. But I do think the clips they have of Baby Blue are adorable. Hold on, let's see if I can preview going. Because this movie does have some moments that are good. I don't like the Indoraptor. It's so derivative of the Spinosaurus. It's just a smaller version of it. It's kind of dumb. The worst part about this movie is what it does, the volcanic eruption. And you see all the dinosaurs making their sad, like, ooh noises while everything around them is getting destroyed. And they're all dying in the water and they're drowning. And it's horrible. That wasn't a very long preview. Here's the scene, part of it. There's a Carnosaurus. This is where they have the obligatory stampede scene too, but it's more tragic this time. That's a nice little callback to the eye in the window from the original. I put that picture in my collage. I do like the gyrosphere. That scene is pretty cool. There's Rexy. You see the volcano going off in the background. It's just devastating, especially when they have the one Brachiosaurus standing on the dock. And you just see him crying for help. Oh, it's so tragic. Toby Jones even shows up as Mr. Eversole. He's unnecessarily condescending, and he's a dinosaur dealer, I guess. It's not really specific. But this movie is the movie we spend the least amount of time on the island. We're only on the island for like a half an hour in the movie. And in the last hour of the movie, we're inside this mansion. So they shouldn't have called it Fallen Kingdom. They should have just called this movie Jurassic Mansion. That's basically what we do the whole time. It's got this dumb plot line with a dinosaur auction. And even with that, they're only selling the dinosaurs for like $4 million a piece. But you'd think that they'd be worth more money than that, considering how many billions of dollars are put into the parks themselves and how much it costs to make each of these assets, like each of these dinosaurs. Like hundreds of millions, if not billions, have gone into creating these animals. It's just such a convoluted premise, too. Like, once the dinos get into these people's trucks or transportation, like, what happens next? Does someone train all the dinosaurs go with them? Like, how's it work exactly? There's so many questions. Then there's the Indoraptor. I don't really like the creature design. It's too derivative of the Indominus Rex, which I'm going to call the I-Rex. Training her to follow lasers is also kind of silly. I mean, my cats do that. I don't have to train them to do that. It's just, what's the point of a laser if it's attached to a gun that you're holding anyways? Why not just use the gun? It's so dumb. And then I got this guy, Wheatley, who takes these teeth from all these dinosaurs, like some kind of sadist. That's messed up. So when he gets eaten by the Indoraptor, I think that's hilarious. Oh yeah, I should mention, for the rest of the movies, I'm going to spoil them. Spoiler warning. Then you find out about Maisie, that she's a clone. Do we really need human cloning in these movies? One thing I want to point out too, about 2 hours into the movie, it shows a suitcase full of embryos. Some of the names are kind of hard to read, but the ones I noticed were Brachiosaurus, Allosaurus, Carnotaurus, sorry. Sorry about that. Having some technical difficulties with the internet tonight. So basically, I'm not sure where I lost you. So I'll just do a brief little review again. Talk about Fallen Kingdom. Just gonna add. Sorry. This is number 8 in the franchise. Okay, my girlfriend says it's only been about a minute or so. Okay, cool. Great. So that means most of the review was done. That's good. That's good. Overall, I feel like this movie should have been called Jurassic Mansion because the last hour or so takes place at Lockwood's estate for the stupid auction. And just like its predecessor, it kind of feels like The Force Awakens. This one feels like The Last Jedi because this sequel, it tries to be Empire Strikes Back, and you can kind of tell it's trying to do that. Similarly to how I compare the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy to the prequel trilogy for Star Wars. I said part 2 was trying to be Empire Strikes Back, but it came across more like Attack of the Clones, and I explained why. So let me explain what I mean by comparing it to the sequel trilogy for Star Wars, because there's a lot of similarities. Like, for example, just like The Last Jedi, this sequel actively goes against everything that was set up in Jurassic World after literally destroying the island. Like, they blow it up completely. And it's also much darker than the movie that came before it. So there's a lot of subplots going on. Most of it's not even on the island. The actors still don't have really good chemistry. The villains are silly. My biggest issue, though, is no one addresses the fact that there's another island, Site B, Isla Sorna. So what happened to the dinosaurs on that island? And why didn't they just move the dinosaurs from that island to Isla Sorna? Like, never address that island ever again. It's just, what happened to that island? It bothers me. But I do like how this movie touches on themes about animal rights. The whole first third of this movie is about whether or not we should save the dinosaurs or just let nature take its course and let them go extinct again. So, my official grade for Fallen Kingdom is an extra small popcorn. It's the only one I would consider to be a bad movie. I do not like Fallen Kingdom. Let's share the screen. So back to Letterboxd. At number 7, I'm going to do Jurassic World Dominion. So let's pull it up. Jurassic World Dominion. This one came out in 2022. Here's the poster. I just want to make sure I'm still with you. Okay, great. So this one was directed by Colin Trevorrow. It was written by Emily Carmichael, Colin Trevorrow, and Derek Connolly. Again, all based off ideas and characters from Michael Crichton. This one stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill. It was made on a budget of $185 million, and the worldwide gross was $1 billion. So I have a lot of issues with this one too. Because first of all, this is not the Jurassic World movie that we were promised. I hadn't seen this one since it came out. So when I did the rewatch, I watched the extended cut on Blu-ray. And there actually is a lot of differences. I kind of prefer the extended cut. Like, this one starts off 65 million years ago. and it shows dinosaurs in their natural habitat. Some of the ones they show are the Brachiosaurus, the Triceratops, the Pteranodons, the Iguanodons, Ankylosaurus, and it shows a cute little oviraptor, which is like a little raptor that eats eggs. And then it shows the Giganotosaurus fighting the T-Rex. Before it shows a mosquito sucking the blood of one of them 65 million years ago. It's actually pretty cool. I kind of like how they included that scene. And the extended cut also shows the scene in the drive-in. The scene that they had in the previews that didn't end up in the theatrical cut. So I think it's pretty cool how they included that. Let's play this trailer. No sound though. So here's the synopsis according to IMDb. 4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, Biosyn operatives attempt to track down Maisie Lockwood, and Ellie Sattler investigates genetically engineered swarm of insects. Let's start that again. Here we go. Cool. Okay, it has interactions with people. Aside from that brief stint in part 4, Jurassic World. But I'll get to that. It's kind of funny, though. Owen's like a dinosaur cowboy in this one. Owen Grady, of course, played by Chris Pratt. You see him wrestling up and wrangling different dinosaurs like the Paraloposaurus. And then the Franklin character is CIA now. So the thing with the franchise is it really becomes Fast and the Furious after a while because it comes so far gone from where it began. Now they're like action adventure, spy espionage movies. What happened to this franchise? And what I do like the Dreadnoughtosaurus and the Giganotosaurus, I feel like we don't spend enough time with the animals and the dinosaurs in this one. The dinosaurs in this one are more of an afterthought because they choose to focus on, there's the Giganotosaurus, but they choose to focus on the stupid subplot with these locusts. Just doesn't make any sense. And Owen keeps doing this like hand trick that he had. Oh, wait, this no. Let's just stuff that. There we go. Okay. But yeah, Owen does his hand trick on like an Allosaurus and a Carnotaurus. But it's like, I'm pretty sure that only worked on the raptors, right? Like that wouldn't work on just any dinosaur because they wouldn't really know what that means. So I'm pretty sure he would have been eaten at that moment. But the scenes in Malta are some of the best parts. This is where it actually becomes kind of like Jurassic World. It shows them out and about in the city. I like the motorcycle chase that Owen has. It's a fun flashback, callback to Jurassic World. Because this is more of the Jurassic World movie I had in mind. The whole movie could have been the section in Malta, and that would have been awesome. But no. They set it up at the beginning with the black market and the prologue, but then we don't really see it again after this. And the car chases in this really remind me that this has gone full Fast and the Furious by now. And later on, too, Dr. Wu shows Maisie some videos about her mom, Charlotte. We find out she's the one that actually cloned her and gave birth to her, and then kind of raised her clone like it was her daughter. Which is, again, a weird subplot. I don't know why they even continued with it, but they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, so they had to continue that story, I guess. But the whole time, it feels like it's two different movies. Because you have Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt on their mission, trying to save Blue's baby, Beta. And then you have Statler and Grant investigating these locusts that Biosyn released because they're trying to take over the global food supply or something. It's not entirely clear. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Why is that not playing? I just want to check to make sure I'm still going. All right, cool. Oh, if we have another comment. Vezcott says, hi, Chris. Hi there. How's it going? Glad you came to watch the show. Thank you for watching. If you're just tuning in, I'm talking about Jurassic World Dominion. It's number 7 on my list. And again, they brought back the laser raptors in this one. It's so tough. But I do like the scene. There's a scene later on, too, with the Pyroraptor. It's got, like, red feathers. It's pretty cool looking. Let's get this going. No, not that. No. Okay. Let me just go with the poster then. There we go. Poster. Yeah, the fire actually seems cool. With the snow, then it goes into the icy water. They gotta try and get away. And then it shows some Dimetrodons in the Amber Cave. Like they have this amber mine that Grant said go down, and they have these scenes with the torches. Those are the ones with the big fans on their back. It's awesome. And then afterwards, like the plot just becomes the same plot. Like once the two groups meet together, it's supposed to be like the end game of the franchise. Both casts, old and new, finally meeting up to go on this grand adventure together. But they don't even really meet each other until like 2 hours into the movie. So it just seems like a huge wasted opportunity. But at the end, I do like the montage they have of the dinosaurs. Like they have the Parasaurolophilus running with the horses. I think they're Mustangs. But it's got some Pteranodons flying with some birds. It shows the Dreadnoughtus in the redwood forest. And it shows the Mosasaurus swimming with the whales. And it shows some Stereochosauruses walking with elephants in the sunset. Those are the ones that are kind of like Triceratops, but they have holes in their crests. So yeah, I can't help but compare this movie to The Rise of Skywalker. Similar to how I compared the other movies, similar to how I compared others to the Star Wars movies, this one tries to do a major course correction after all the damage that the Fallen Kingdom did before it. And the director of the first one in this trilogy, even back to the third one in the trilogy, Colin Trevorrow. So it's similar to how J.J. Abrams did Force Awakens, and then he did Rise of Skywalker. This film also doesn't give the villain enough time to shine, which in this case is the Giganotosaurus. This is supposed to be the bad dinosaur in this one. Every movie's got this big bad dinosaur. Although I will admit, the extended cut did have more of it, so that was kind of cool. But at least this movie has some enjoyable moments in it. I can get some fun out of this one, unlike the other one, which is just depressing. Basically, it's a well-trodden adventure that feels more like Fast and the Furious than it does Jurassic Park, because dinosaurs are more of an afterthought in this movie. Well, let's go back to me. So, my official grade for Jurassic World Dominion is a small popcorn. Oh, well, dude, I'll have it like on in the background. It's just not very rewatchable. It's not as enjoyable as the other movies. And although I wouldn't consider it a bad movie, it's not a very good movie either. So let's go back to Letterboxd. Next up on the ranking, I'm going to put Jurassic Park Rebirth. I'm going to leave it right where it is. And yeah, I've already talked about this one. It's great. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not terrible. It's more enjoyable than these two other movies are. But it's more of the same, really. It's not really a rebirth. It should have called it Jurassic Park Recycled. But it's not all bad. I like it. You can rewind if you missed my review. At number 5, I'm going to do Battle at Big Rock. I had to include this one because it's a short film that shows what could have been if we actually got a Jurassic World movie. As far as I'm concerned, we haven't gotten a true Jurassic World movie yet. Battle at Big Rock. This was also directed by Colin Trevorrow, written by Emil Carmichael, Colin Trevorrow, and Michael Crichton, based on the ideas of him, obviously. It stars Andre Holland, Natalie Martinez, and Melody Hurd. A family on a camping trip at Big Rock National Park, about 20 miles from where Fallen Kingdom has ended, take part in the first major confrontation between dinosaurs and humans. So let's click this poster. This is actually playing on YouTube for free, so you could watch it right now if you wanted to. Oh, apparently it aired on television too. That's cool. But yeah, this is the big promotion. It was a promotional short film before Dominion came out. It's all about this family, and they see this family of Triceratops. You know, it's got the mommy Triceratops and the daddy Triceratops, and they have their little baby. But all of a sudden, they get attacked by an Allosaurus, and then the mom and the dad protect the baby. It just happens to be in the middle of this campsite. And then the Allosaurus goes for the family when he can't get the Triceratops. So it's only like a 10-minute film, but it's fantastic. It's got great animatronics. It's got great action. It feels like it could have been like the intro to Jurassic World Dominion, like, because they did include little clips of it here and there for the prologue. But I'm very curious where this would have been if they would have kept going with this idea. It's awesome because this is the Jurassic World movie that we were promised, and it teases it. Just makes you wonder what could have been. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever get a true Jurassic World movie. I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. It's very short. Some photos from it. There's the family there. They're in their RV. The Allosaurus. Great special effects. Looks like these are a combination of animatronics and CGI, which though is much better than just pure CGI. So that's that one. Out of the Big Rock. The next one on the ranking is Jurassic World. So I'm going to leave this one right where it is. Let's pull up that poster, shall we? Jurassic World. This one came out in 2015, believe it or not. 10 years ago. Before I do this one, I want to make sure. Okay, good. Still streaming. Good. So this one's enjoyable, but I have some issues with it. It feels very much like the Force Awakens. It's kind of like a reboot of the original Jurassic Park, but this time the park's open to the public, so that's cool. Different idea. This one was directed by Colin Trevorrow, as I mentioned. It was written by Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, and Colin Trevorrow. It stars Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, Bryce Dallas Howard and Ty Simpkins. This was made on a budget of $150 million, and it made $1.67 billion at the box office. So those three movies all made over $1 billion. No wonder they came out with a seventh movie. And this one, it's a legacy sequel, but it feels more like Jurassic Park for Dummies. And by that, it's very, very much a dumbed down version of the original Jurassic Park. There's no more philosophical conversations about whether or not we should be creating these dinosaurs and the ethics behind that. We pretty much abandoned that by now. And this one doesn't open with a dinosaur kill like the other movies do. This one opens up with the Indominus Rex hatching. So it's a fun callback to the original when it shows the raptor hatching. But it's got two kids in it, and their parents are getting divorced. This whole subplot feels completely unnecessary because it's unresolved by the end. Like, we don't know what's happening with this family. We don't know much about the parents. We focus on these kids. But we don't know what's going on, like, back at home. As cool as it is to see the park open to the public, I was kind of curious how that came to be. So I kind of wish the story focused more on that. But I love how the monorail looks. I love how the park looks. It's got that sense of wonder when it shows the wide shot from the hotel room, and it shows the whole park, and it kind of zooms in on the welcome center. It's playing the theme song. It's very nostalgic. It's a pretty nice moment. Well, let's get the preview going. Because I do like to have some clips of the movie going. Here we go. Let's just mute it. Here we go. And Bryce Dallas Howard is pretty good as Claire. She's like a workaholic, emotionally detached aunt to these two boys. And this is where the whole meta commentary started about people not being impressed with dinosaurs anymore. It's kind of a funny idea, but again, I don't buy into it. I call BS on that. I don't think that would ever happen. And the Indominus Rex, it makes sense in context of the story, but I'm not a huge fan because she's not a real dinosaur. And again, it kind of goes against everything that the previous movies established. And I'd like to know more about the Simon Misrani character too. He's the CEO of Misrani Corporation and the owner of Jurassic World. He flies a helicopter in this one. But aside from that, like, he quotes John Hammond a lot, but we don't really know a lot about this guy or how he got, the company, how the park opened up. That would have been interesting, I think. But no, they don't talk about that. This one also introduces O'Grady, Chris Pratt. And this is when the franchise becomes How to Train Your Dinosaur, because this is the one that starts that hand trick that he does. He puts his hand out to the rafters. I kept waiting for one of the rafters to bite his hand off, but it never happened. That would have been hilarious. But seeing the raptors trained like dolphins really takes the fear factor out of them too. As Dr. Alan Grant says, they don't like to be fed, they like to hunt. I never talk about the T-Rex there, but most dinosaurs are like that, just like wild animals. Owen Wilson and Bryce Dallas Howard have no chemistry either. But I do like how this one does include a lot more dinosaurs. And I love the gyrosphere idea. It's a fun spin on the Jeep idea from the other movies. And I do like the fight between the Indominus Rex and the Ankylosaurus. That is pretty cool. You can see it constantly learning as the movie goes on, doing different things, absorbing the environment and learning how to adapt to it. So it is cool to see how smart this thing is. But it is fundamentally flawed, like I said. And why is the nanny dad so mean-spirited? She gets picked up by one of the pteranodons and then dumped into the Mosasaurus tank. Holy crap. Talk about brutal. It's like one of those brutal deaths in the whole franchise. She didn't deserve that. And I always thought that the Raptors running next to Grady on the motorcycles are cheesy and silly. Why is Jurassic World trying to be Fast and the Furious? This is when that starts. And then after this, it becomes more and more Fast and the Furious because it gets further and further away from the original idea, just like how that started with the street racing. Now it's all about globetrotting CIA missions. Well, Dominion was a globetrotting CIA mission. But yeah, you can blame this movie for that. This is where it all starts with the motorcycle thing. And the twist with the I-Rex being part raptor was so obvious. It's not even a twist. It looks like a giant raptor. Of course it's part raptor. There's another missed opportunity too when I have all the tourists cooped up in one location. They get attacked by a pteranodon, but that's all that happens to them. Like, not much happens to the public besides that pteranodon attack. So I would have wanted to see more there too. And Vincent D'Onofrio plays this like military guy trying to militarize these dinosaurs, which I thought was a dumb plot. But I did like the Spinosaurus cameo. If you notice in the background, there's a Spinosaurus skeleton. That was pretty cool. And I do like the big dinosaur fight at the end. It's got the T-Rex versus the I-Rex. With the help of Blue, the Velociraptor. And then the Mosasaurus steps in later on too. It's awesome. We might show a clip of it here. That's a pretty good scene too. The raptors chasing the ambulance. There's pteranodons attacking the public. That's like the only scene where the public's in danger. There it is. Moses starts attacking. Brutal. All right. So overall, this movie is super self-aware and it just wants to have fun. It's got a very simple premise, and it's cool that it has the park open up to the public. I do like that. In a way, this movie is a lot like The Force Awakens. It's the first chapter in a new trilogy. And it feels kind of like a remake of the original installment. You got the Hammond character. You got the Alan Grant / Muldoon character. It's there to like assess the theme park to see if there's any anachronisms. You got a dinosaur escaping and children are in peril. And they're also relatives to one of the main protagonists. It's got the obligatory stampede scene, just like all the other movies do. The raptors make appearances here and there. But again, the whole domesticating dinosaurs takes that fear out of them. So not really a fan of that. It doesn't necessarily have all the events in the same order as the first movie, but all the pieces are there. So they're pretty easy to put together. Dr. Wu even shows up as a legacy character. So this movie is more enjoyable than the other ones. It's fun. My official grade for Jurassic World is medium popcorn. Let's go back to the list now, shall we? So at number 3, I'm going to put The Lost World. Jurassic Park 2. I know this movie is hated, but I loved this movie when it came out in theaters. And then when it came out on VHS, I watched it so many times. I had the VHS cover with the holographic cover. So when you turned it, the T-Rex was coming out of the gate. It was awesome. So let's do Lost World. I'm not sponsored. Go away. I'm still connected, right? All right, cool. Still connected. All right. My biggest problem with this one is how much it diverges from the book. The novel is so different. It's got characters that aren't in the movie. It's got storylines that aren't in the movie. Dinosaurs that aren't in the movie. It's not a very good adaptation. It's a very loosely based adaptation. It's got some of the same characters, but all of their fates have changed too. But I'm gonna have myself. This one came out in 1997. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was written by David Koepp, based on characters and story by Michael Crichton. Loosely based, I should say. Loosely based. It stars Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, and Pete Postlewaite. And Richard Hammond. Richard Attenborough comes back as John Hammond, too. This one was made on a budget of $73 million. And it made $618.6 million at the box office. Keep in mind, too, I didn't adjust this for inflation. This is just what it made at the time. But still, that's a lot of money. So this movie actually starts off with like how the first book starts off. It's got a little girl on the beach. She gets attacked by these Compsognathus, aka compies. Go away. Okay. Here's a preview. Oh, maybe. Here we go. So Eva was the main character, but this one's got a much darker vibe. Like there's not that sense of wonder like the first movie had. There's the same with the little girl. This one's all about Site B. This is like the experimental island where they worked on the dinosaurs before taking them to the theme park. Vince Vaughn's in this movie too, but he feels really out of place. He feels miscast. He doesn't give a bad performance. He's just, it doesn't feel quite right. Like he feels off. It's hard to explain. I do like the girl that plays Malcolm's daughter, though. She's good. And Julianne Moore is great. The team as a whole, though, don't really have a lot of chemistry. Like Julianne Moore and Jeff Goldblum are great together, but the rest of them, they don't really mesh. The Stampede scene that's early on too, and the second team of InGen arrives. And this one's got impressive. This is a very impressive scene because the camera angles that are used and the camera movements, how they're following the dinosaurs when they're chasing them. At one point, the camera follows a guy on a motorcycle as he goes underneath a brontosaurus. It's really cool. And the Pachycephalosaurus scene is hilarious because it shows the sheer power of this scene. It's kind of like a little battering ram with legs. It's like those bighorn sheep. It's awesome. And the baby T-Rex is adorable. Movies. I like when the two T-Rexes attack the trailer on the cliff. That's some behind the scenes stuff. That's kind of cool. Good animatronics in this one too. That baby T-Rex looks so lifelike. You feel so bad for the thing too. I also like the scene when the compies are eating that guy, because this is how Hammond died in the first book. He gets eaten by the compies, but obviously he survives that movie. So this guy gets to his death. This seems like little piranhas, the way they swarm you. I love the POV shots of the dinosaurs walking toward people too. That never gets old. You could tell he did that because of Jaws, right? When he was working on that film, that's what inspired him for this film. And then the last part of this movie is the T-Rex running around in San Diego. This is the first introduction to Jurassic World. I do like how they included that with this. I like when at the gas station and they see the giant ball with a 76 rolling down the street, and then the T-Rex chasing the bus, and he's drinking out of a swimming pool. But trigger warning, though, the dog in this movie doesn't survive. So you've been warned. And then Vince Vaughn just kind of disappears during the finale. Same with the hunter guy that's in it. Same with all the other characters. So this kind of boils down to the two. Sarah Harding and Ian Malcolm. So overall, this movie doesn't really feel like a Spielberg film in the same sense that the first movie did or his other movies do, because it's got a much darker tone. It's almost nihilistic in the way that it portrays how people view dinosaurs and everything like that. But I like how Stan Winston returned for the dinosaurs in this one, and so did Industrial Light and Magic for the CGI part. Stan Winston, of course, worked on the animatronics. But yeah, my biggest issue is just how far this deviates from the book. They could have stuck with it and still had a great movie. That's one of the best parts there, the velociraptors in the tall grass. Some dinosaurs at this point are staples by now. You got the T-Rex and the Velociraptor for sure. Now the Mosasaurus has kind of become a staple. There's Spielberg. So while it's good, there is more to be desired. That's a fun scene too, with the raptors in the compound. Which I think is the old lab they abandoned. So yeah, that's Jurassic World. Back to me. Okay. So my official grade for The Lost World is medium popcorn. Actually, scratch that. I like this movie a lot. It's fun. It's got its moments. I do like this movie. So scratch that. I'm going to give this one a large popcorn. They had medium written. I'll change that. This movie's got a lot of nostalgia. I remember seeing this in theaters and having a good time. And like I said, I watched this constantly on VHS when it came out. I love this movie. Could have been better, but it's still pretty good. So yeah, my official grade, large popcorn. So let's share the screen. I almost forgot. So my number 2 pick is Jurassic Park 3. I'm going to leave it right where it is. This movie is hated, but I love it. This one never gets old for me. So let's go here. It's well documented that Jurassic Park 3 had a very troubled production. When they went into production, they had no script because they threw the one out that they had before, so they started over again. Then they had to get a new director. They had problems while they were filming the movie. So it's all on YouTube if you want to find out more. There's all kinds of documentaries about this movie. So here's the poster. I love the poster. I like how it kind of switches up the logo a little bit, and it's got the scratches on the metal door, and you see the pterodon. Sorry, the pteranodon. So, Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001. It was directed by Joe Johnston. It was written by Peter Buckley and Alexander Payne. It stars Sam Neill, William H. Macy, and Tia Leone. It was made on a budget of $93 million, and it made $368.7 million at the box office. So let's roll the clip. no, that's not what I want. I want the preview. Maybe it'll play it. Okay. Let's just keep going. This one's got a lot of plot holes too. But I do like how it takes place on Isla Sorna, just like part 2 did. But it's funny because they filmed the 2 movies in 2 different locations. They filmed Lost World mainly in Northern California. So the vegetation and the forest looks totally different in this movie than the last movie. But it's supposed to be the same place. Where is this going? Promo. No, that's not what I want. Go back. They don't have just the regular preview. Oh, I guess they don't have it. That's weird. Okay, let's go back. Close. Let's go here. Okay, what I'll just do. If that's being difficult, I'll just go to YouTube. And I'll find this preview. So yeah, this movie has a lot of plot holes in it though. Like I never really understood what happened to the boat crew when Eric and his stepfather go out parasailing. It's never explained. Jurassic Park 3 trailer. There we go. I'll just mute that and I'll talk through it. Here we go. Good. It's just disappointing too that Sattler and Grant aren't a couple in this one. It seems like they become a couple at the end of the first movie. And that whole scene with William Macy and Tia Leone, like they have a lot of good scenes together. That's what I'm trying to say. They have pretty good chemistry. It's supposed to be this divorced couple. I don't know why divorce is a constant like side plot in these movies, but they keep bringing it up. People keep getting divorced in the background while all the dinosaur chaos is going on for some reason. But hey, the reason why they get there is also a pretty good twist too, because they said that they're rich people, and they end up becoming they end up just going there to look for son. So the way that comes up too is pretty interesting. That talking raptor dream never bothered me either. I know this movie gets a lot of hate for that. And this one has that sense of wonder scene this time when they fly over the island. You can see the dinosaurs down below. Let's just play that again. You can see all the herbivores before they land and they meet the Spinosaurus. That's one of the best parts of the movie too, where the Spinosaurus attacks the plane. The animatronic looks fantastic. It's a great callback to the Jeep scene too from the first movie, but it keeps things fresh. They say that the Spinosaurus was the largest animatronic that was ever built. It was 25 feet high, and the length was about 40 meters long. It weighed 24,000 pounds, and it was operated by hydraulics. It was also able to work completely submerged in water. So it didn't give as many problems as the original T-Rex did in that movie. But I'll get to that. I like the fight scene too between the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex. It doesn't bother me that the Spinosaurus won. I just wish the fight was a little bit longer too. It was a good moment. And it's interesting how this movie has civilians trapped on the island this time instead of just professionals. Before this, it was professionals on the island, whether it be paleontologists or hunters or like mercenaries. They had some kind of military background or something, or some kind of other background, like professional background. But not now. You got ordinary people. Just that. Let's go back to the poster. Back. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Cool. I like how they include the river scene in this one too, because again, that was in the first book and they included it in this movie. But the way they did it in Rebirth was a lot better. And I love the Pteranodon scene in the fog in the cage. It's so cool how that's revealed. It's very clever because the fog adds a sense of atmosphere, and the Pteranodon just walking toward the kid before it gets revealed what it really is bone chilling. I think Billy should have died there, though. The Billy character, I don't think he should have survived this movie. It's cool too because the whole Pteranodon scene, that was another scene that was in the first book that got cut from the first movie because budget reasons. So it's cool they brought it back for this one. I said they recycle ideas that they couldn't do in previous movies and then reapply them. This one even got storyboarded too, but they took it out. So I love how they include the Pteranodon scenes, mainly for that reason. And the final scene, the final showdown with the Spinosaurus in the boat in the rain, that's just awesome. The fin coming out of the water too has to be a reference to Jaws. Nice touch. So it's also got a Barney reference in this movie which is hilarious. But yeah, the Spinosaurus attacking the boat. I love the way that they stage this scene because it's in different stages. First, you have the fin coming up out of the water. It was here. Is there another preview I can show? This one's longer. The laboratory seems really cool too with the raptors. The way it has the raptor standing in the tube, but all of a sudden the eye moves. It's so creepy. Sorry, like I was saying with the Spinosaurus at the end. The fire in the water looks amazing. But I never understood why the Spinosaurus just kind of gives up. It could easily just swim around the fire. It just leaves for no reason. It's kind of funny. And I do like how during the final showdown with the raptors, the way that Grant communicates with them is pretty clever because they set that up in the beginning too. He's got the chamber from the 3D printer that they made. It's like the resonating chamber or whatever. It's how the raptor makes noises, so he's able to kind of call for help or distract them or something. But even then, it sets it up too in the laboratory. He hears them talking to each other, so he applies what he learns toward the end. That's pretty clever, if you ask me. For not having a script. There's the stampede scene. There's the Pteranodon scene. There's the lab scene. Oh, it's gonna show up. Cool. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. That's so cool. That's so creepy. And there's the final showdown with the raptors there. I like how raptors set up a trap too. It really shows how smart the raptors are in this one. Way more than the other movies. So overall, I like this one because it's fast-paced, to the point, has exciting, memorable dinosaur scenes, and it's a short, sweet 90 minutes. There it is. That's the scene I was talking about before. Fire. Cool. Let's just play that again. But yeah, like I said, I was having issues with it. The plot's riddled with plot holes because there's no script. And it does that thing where it just abruptly stops at the end. It's just a guy on a beach with the whole cavalry and the army and the Navy and the Air Force or whatever. How did Ellie Sattler even know where they were either? Like, he never told them anything about that. It's just a brief little phone call when he's getting attacked. But anyways, I never really understood what Spinosaurus is talking like a horror villain. But whatever, it's fun. Because in the first one, the T-Rex just kind of ran into them by chance every now and again. Like, he wasn't actually chasing after them like the Spinosaurus does in this one. And in the second one, they're only after them because they have the baby. So there's a reason why they're chasing after them. They want the baby back. And then later, they can smell the blood on Sarah's vest. But anyways, there's a scene with the planes. Nice callback to the Jeep. I like how that one staged. It's got the animatronic the most in that one. But yeah, it's well documented. This production started with a script that wasn't finished. They had a pretty solid idea for the middle, and then they had no ending, which kind of shows the way it just kind of jumps from one scene to the next, to the next, to the next, and then stops. There's not much of a story in this one. Michael Crichton even reportedly worked with the screenwriters for several days to brainstorm ideas about this movie, but left because he couldn't come up with a satisfactory idea, which is kind of sad. But I do like how Stan Winston came back. He says his proudest moment is when the Spinosaurus attacks the boat in the lake. Because normally water can be a nightmare with the hydraulic rigs. And then Joe Johnston really wanted to do that scene in the river. So that's why he made sure that this one could work in the water. It's pretty cool. All right, that's enough of this. Oh, that's like a documentary. Okay, let's go back. Cool. All right, I'm back. Okay, so my official grade for Jurassic Park 3 is an extra large popcorn. Okay, so you know what that means. Share the screen. My number one pick, Jurassic Park 1, the original. I mean, honestly, how can you beat a classic? Let's get rid of YouTube. Let's go to IMDb. So, what can I say about the original Jurassic Park that hasn't already been said? Because I honestly do believe this is one of the greatest movies of all time. Here's why. First of all, here's that poster. This is iconic. Sometimes less is more. And this here really tells you everything you need to know about the movie. There's a theme park with dinosaurs. That's all you need to know. This movie came out in 1993. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was written by Michael Crichton and David Koepp. They worked on the script together. It was starring Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. The first one was made on a $63 million budget, and it made $1.1 billion. So imagine how much that would be now if you adjusted that to inflation. So I just want to make sure, still going. Oh, Sabrina says, just to let everyone know, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Please bear with us. Thank you, Sabrina. All right, let's talk about Jurassic Park. My number one pick. Probably not a surprise, actually, but hey, my number one pick. Wait, trailer. No sound. All right. So we'll start with a synopsis. An industrialist invites some experts to visit the theme park of cloned dinosaurs. After a power failure, the creatures run loose, putting everyone's lives, including the grandchildren's, in danger. Hold on, I think I forgot to read the synopsis for part 3. Let's just go back. A decidedly odd couple with ulterior motives convince Dr. Grant to go to Isla Sorna for a holiday, but their unexpected landing startles the island's inhabitants. So there you go. That's the description for part 3. Sorry about that. Should have read that before. I think I might have forgot some of the other ones too, but that's okay. I basically said the gist of what the movies were about anyways. So yeah, let's get this one going. Here we go. Cool. So originally, Michael Crichton wrote the novel because of his concern with the rise of scientism and the exploration of the biogenetics for the sake of profit. It was also about commercialism. So the movie is like a watered down version of the first book. It's got all the same ideas. It just doesn't go as deep into the science as the book does. So I really do recommend the Jurassic Park books because if you're interested in the movies, because it goes so much more in depth with like why they chose the dinosaurs that they did, how Biosyn and InGen have this corporate like rivalry. It explains a little bit more about the Dodgson character, who shows up in Dominion, by the way, as the villain, but he was cast with a different actor, and he's just, I didn't think he was a very good character. But anyways, Jurassic Park. This has like one of the most iconic intros, not just in the whole franchise, but I'd say like cinematic history too. They try to transfer the Velociraptor from the cage to the big pen. And it's got the iconic line, "Shoot her!" But when I said that, you could see Muldoon in your head, couldn't you? This also has Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight. So he's the reason why the whole park goes to hell, like in the first place, because he turns the power off. And then Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, they get introduced on their archaeological dig site, and he has this funny moment where he scares the crap out of this kid when it comes to velociraptors because he doesn't understand like the way they work. But this movie is just full of so many iconic shots. So if you get a chance to see this in theaters, I would really recommend you do that. I love especially how very early on, oh, let's go back to the poster. Yeah. It shows the helicopter scene where they go into the island for the first time. But I love how this helicopter scene sums up the whole movie, if you think about it. Because Alan Grant takes two seatbelts, the female sides of the seatbelts, and they won't buckle together. So what he does is he takes those two seatbelts and he just ties them together. And if you think about it, that's the whole movie. Life finds a way. This also introduces Ian Malcolm and the whole chaos theory side of things, which inevitably Malcolm is right. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. I like how this is filmed on location in Kauai, Hawaii, too. It's so much better when people actually go places to film things instead of just shooting in front of a green screen and adding the background later. Because it doesn't look good, you can tell. That's the thing about Jurassic World Rebirth I like, too. I don't think I mentioned it, but that movie was filmed in Thailand. And it's got a lot of really cool geography there. Same with The Creator. That was another Gareth Edwards movie. It was filmed in Thailand. Beautiful movie. Beautiful scenery. But yeah, that scene, it kind of showed it here. With the Brachiosaurus, the first time you see it, it's so iconic. I remember being blown away when I first saw that. Spielberg is really good at the bait and switch. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when I did my Jaws video. He sets up one aspect of the dinosaurs being these wondrous, fantastical creatures that are just beautiful to look at. Then he switches it up on you when he shows you how terrifying some of these things can be. Timmy and Lexi are great characters too. The kids in this movie, they're the grandchildren of Hammond. The Triceratops scene is another iconic scene too. The animatronic with the sick Triceratops. The way it blinks, breathes, and moves around still looks great to this day. But it's too bad it's not shown again after this scene. That's the only time you see the Triceratops. I just thought the animatronic deserved more time on screen. We could at least see like a healthy version of the Triceratops. There's the Brachiosaurus there. And then when it stands in the treetops and eats from the top, oh, such a good scene. There's the Triceratops. It even breathes. That's another iconic scene too. The Gallimimus being hunted by the T-Rex. But of course, there's the T-Rex coming out of the cage right here. I love the way it shows the water. They actually had to put guitar strings underneath the table there, and they plucked it so it would make that vibration in the water. And Spielberg was saying he wanted to film that scene mainly from inside the car, so you felt like you're there with the characters. I thought that was a great touch. But they had a lot of problems with the T-Rex animatronic during the filming because it wasn't tested in water. So eventually they nicknamed it Rexy. I'm just going to call it Herd of Rexy from now on. But yeah. They didn't know Steven Spielberg wanted to shoot the scene in the rain. Therefore, they had all kinds of mechanical issues during filming. I mean, this was a full-sized, 20-foot tall, 40-foot long, 9,000-pound machine that was operated by hydraulics. And it took 20 puppeteers to operate it, especially for complex movements like moving the head and the tail. Back to the poster. A lot of work went involved, and it shows. I like the Dilophosaurus scene too, when Nedry finally gets his comeuppance. Same thing. First, it shows the Dilophosaurus all cutesy before he attacks. And again, this is the first time it shows the shot from the dinosaur perspective, walking up to a person, which I think Steven Spielberg was inspired by his old movie Jaws for that. Afterward, though, I never really understood why, because they got the part where the car's in the tree and it's falling down. They could have just moved out of the way instead of being chased by it. But when the T-Rex chases the Jeep, that's another iconic scene too. I love that scene. One thing that I noticed too upon my rewatch is the dinosaurs don't act like monsters. They act more like animals. Like when Rexy flips over the Jeep and attacks the bottom, first it attacks the tire and then she attacks the side, but she flips over and tries to get the underbelly, the vulnerable side, just like it would do with an animal. Sorry, like she would do with an animal. It was a nice touch. And then the same thing when they see the Brachiosaurus in the tree, when they're hiding up in the treetops and they see the Brachiosaurus club close. It kind of reminds me of a cow, the way it's chewing on the branches. And of course, there's that iconic scene in the kitchen with the raptors. This is iconic because it demonstrates everything that we've learned about the raptors so far. And it really gives them a time to shine. You only see brief glimpses of them here and there. Kind of like what Spielberg did with Jaws. You don't really see the dinosaurs for the first half of this movie. But I would consider the first half of this movie to be boring. It's so fascinating. It's just the right amount of science and imagination. So when the dinosaurs do show up halfway through, it's so much more impactful because it demonstrates everything that we've learned. And that grand finale, too, with the T-Rex fighting the raptors as the people escape, is so well staged. This movie is so quotable, too. I can't even count how many quotes there are because there's just so many good moments. So overall, these are some of the reasons why this is one of the greatest movies of all time, and it's one of my personal favorite movies too. I'm such a massive fan of the franchise. I've read the book several times. I've seen all the other films in theaters. If this one comes out again in 3D, I highly recommend you go see it in theaters because it's a whole different experience on the big screen. And I remember even when this came out on VHS, I wore out several tapes. My parents had to keep buying them. I've even visited where it was filmed in Hawaii before. And I've seen the replica of the park in Islands of Adventure in Orlando. I really recommend you go there too, because look at they expanded and they put a lot of Jurassic World stuff, but the Jurassic Park stuff especially is so cool. I love seeing the Welcome Center in person for the first time and being able to walk around and see some of these animatronic dinosaurs. I even enjoyed the Netflix shows. They're pretty good too. The animated ones. I've been fascinated by dinosaurs since I was young, mainly because of these movies. They perfectly captured my childhood dream of what it would be like to see them in person. So Stan Winston did the animatronics, and Industrial Light and Magic did the CGI portions. And this is the first time where they blended CGI with animatronics like that. So it really did change the landscape of how we make movies. Industrial Light and Magic created life-size animatronics built with Stan Winston's team. And they used renowned special effects sound design for the action sequences, accompanied with Spielberg's visionary direction. The groundbreaking use of CGI paved the way for modern cinema special effects techniques. And John Williams' awe-inspiring, iconic score only adds to this wonderment. This film truly is timeless. And it's a testament to what they say in the movie, too, about the production, how this movie got made. Life finds a way. Because originally they were going to use claymation for the dinosaurs until they figured out how to do the CGI portions. And that changed everything, not just for this movie, for cinema in general. So, my official grade for the original Jurassic Park is an extra, extra, extra large popcorn. I'd even go as far to give this my seal of approval, as saying this is one of the greatest movies of all time. So give me a second. Boom. Oh, it's not letting me do my image file. That's not cool. One second. I'm trying to get my icon up. It's not letting me, though. Present image. Okay, well, screw it. I'll go here. I'll go here. And then I'll just share my screen. My seal of approval. One of the greatest films of all time. Ta-da! Okay. So, quick recap. Number 8, Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom. Number 7, Dominion. Number 6, Rebirth. Number 5, Battle at Big Rock. Number 4, Jurassic World. Number 3, Lost World. Number 2, Jurassic Park 3. And my number 1 pick, Jurassic Park. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. What's your favorite Jurassic Park movie? Leave comments below and we can talk about it. Also, what's your favorite dinosaur? I can talk about dinosaurs all day, so we can talk about that too if you leave comments below. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Mr. FLIXTER, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you. So, until next time. I'll see you at the movies. Have a great day. Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live. So I'll leave links below for that too. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're a cinemaniac like me. Have a good night. Bye. Goodbye, world.